You ever notice how the most successful people don't need to announce what they're doing? They just do it. They put in the work, day after day, without broadcasting every step. And then one day, boom, the world wakes up and sees what they've built. That's because greatness isn't made in the spotlight. It's crafted in the quiet moments when no one is looking. It's in the early mornings when the world is still asleep. In the late nights when exhaustion begs you to quit. In those long hours when doubt whispers in your ear, asking if it's all worth it. And that's where the real ones separate themselves from the rest. See, we live in a time where everybody wants to talk about what they're doing. Post it, share it, show it. They want to announce their plans before they've even taken the first step. They want the world to know they're grinding, even when the results aren't there yet. But let me tell you something, real success doesn't need an audience in the beginning. The strongest foundations are built in silence. When an architect draws up blueprints for a skyscraper, they don't start by decorating the lobby. They dig deep. They build below the surface, laying the foundation brick by brick, beam by beam, before a single soul ever sees what's coming. That's how you need to approach your own life, your own dreams. Work like no one's watching, because for a while, no one will be. And that's okay. You don't need people's applause when you're still in the process. You don't need validation when you're grinding in the dark. Because if you do it right, if you stay committed, stay disciplined, and put in the work day after day, then one day your results will be so undeniable, they'll speak for themselves. You want to change your life? You want to be great? Then stop talking about it and start doing it. In silence, in the quiet hours, when nobody is watching, when it's just you, your vision, and the work that needs to be done. Because here's the truth, talking about your dreams won't make them real. Telling people what you plan to do won't bring you success. The only thing that moves the needle forward is action, and action doesn't need an audience. Think about the greats, the legends, the game changers, the ones who left their mark on history. Do you think they spent their time announcing every move they were about to make? Do you think they paused their grind to make sure the world knew what they were working on? No. They put their heads down and did the work. They trained when nobody was cheering. They studied when nobody was watching. They failed, they learned, they adapted, and they kept going. And that's what separates those who wish from those who win. But I get it. It's tempting to share. We want people to know we're making progress. We want to feel like our effort is being noticed. But when you focus on broadcasting your hustle instead of actually hustling, you lose momentum. You spend more time trying to prove you're working hard instead of working hard. And that's where most people fall short. True success isn't about proving yourself in the moment. It's about staying focused, staying disciplined, and trusting that the results will speak for themselves. It's about showing up every day, whether anyone sees it or not, whether anyone claps for you or not. Because when the time comes, when your breakthrough finally arrives, it won't be because you talked about it. It'll be because you put in the work. Because success, it's built in the dark. It's built when you wake up early while everyone else is sleeping, when you stay late, putting in extra hours while others clock out, when you grind in the gym, in the office, in the studio, without feeling the need to tell the world about it. It's built in those moments of solitude, when the only thing pushing you forward is your own will to be better than you were yesterday. Nobody sees the hours of practice an athlete puts in before stepping onto the field. Nobody sees the late nights an entrepreneur spends working while the rest of the world unwinds. Nobody sees the hours of studying, the failures, the adjustments, the sacrifices. And that's the point. Because success isn't supposed to be seen until it's achieved. See, too many people want the recognition before they've earned it. They want to be celebrated before they've struggled. But life doesn't work that way. You don't get to claim victory before you've gone to battle. You don't get the reward before you've put in the effort. And that effort, it's not always pretty. It's exhausting. It's frustrating. It's lonely. There will be days when doubt creeps in, when progress feels slow, when giving up seems like the easier choice. But that's where champions are made. in those silent moments when nobody would blame you for quitting, but you refuse to stop anyway. Because the truth is, the world doesn't owe you recognition. It doesn't owe you applause. The only thing that guarantees success is consistency, and consistency isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the quiet grind that nobody sees. Discipline is the key. And discipline isn't flashy. It's not about showing off. It's about showing up every single day, even when nobody's clapping for you. Discipline means doing the work when you don't feel like it. It means pushing through the moments when your motivation runs dry, when your energy is low, when your mind is telling you to rest, but your goals are telling you to move. Discipline is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's what keeps you going long after the excitement has worn off, long after the initial fire has faded, long after the voices in your head try to convince you that you've done enough. And that's hard, I know, because we all want to be recognized. We all want to feel like our effort matters. But let me tell you something, if you keep working, if you stay consistent, your results will speak louder than anything you could ever say. Look at the greatest minds, the strongest athletes, the most successful people in history. They weren't always the smartest. They weren't always the most talented, but they were the most disciplined. They stayed the course when others got distracted. They kept moving when others got comfortable. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions, the perfect timing, or the perfect opportunity. They made progress even on the hard days. And the reason they succeeded, the reason their names are remembered, because they understood that success isn't something you talk about. It's something you prove. Nobody cares how hard you say you're working. Nobody cares about the plans you intend to follow. What matters is the work you actually do, the effort you put in when nobody's looking, the quiet grind that turns dreams into reality. So stop waiting for someone to acknowledge your effort. Stop seeking validation. Stop looking for shortcuts. Just do the work every day with discipline, with focus, with relentless commitment. And when success finally comes knocking, when the results start to show, you won't have to say a word. The world will see what you've done. And when that moment comes, when all the hard work you did in silence finally pays off, you'll realize something powerful. You didn't need the applause. You didn't need the validation. Because the satisfaction of success isn't in the recognition. It's in knowing that you earned it. Every drop of sweat, every late night, every early morning, every sacrifice, it was all worth it. Not because someone else noticed, but because you didn't quit when you could have. See, the world is full of people who started strong, but faded when things got tough. People who had dreams, but gave up when nobody was watching. But you kept going. You stayed focused. You didn't let distractions, doubt, or discouragement derail you. And that's why you win. Because you understand that the real work, the real progress, the real success, it happens behind closed doors. You don't have to announce every step. You don't have to prove anything to anyone but yourself. Let them wonder where you've been. Let them question what you're up to. Because one day, when they least expect it, you're going to show up with the results they never saw coming. And when they ask, how did you do it? You'll just smile. Because the answer is simple. You worked while they watched. You stayed disciplined while they got distracted. You built in silence while they sought attention. And now your success speaks for itself. And when your success speaks, it won't whisper. It will roar. It will echo louder than any words you could have spoken. It will stand taller than any claim you could have made. Because the truth is, real success is undeniable. It doesn't need explanations. It doesn't need validation. It is seen, it is felt, and it is respected. People will look at you and wonder how you did it. They'll see the results, the achievements, the transformation, and they'll assume it happened overnight. But what they won't see are the nights you spent pushing through exhaustion. They won't see the moments you wanted to quit but chose to keep going. They won't see the sacrifices, the discipline, the silent battles you fought within yourself. And that's fine. Because their applause was never the goal. The goal was to become undeniable. The goal was to build something so strong, so unshakable that no one could question whether you deserved it. The goal was never about proving them wrong. It was about proving yourself right. Because at the end of the day, you're not doing this for them. You're not grinding in the dark so the world can clap when you step into the light. You're doing this because you refuse to settle, because you see something greater in yourself, because you know you were made for more. So let them talk while you work. Let them doubt while you build. Let them sleep while you grind. And when the time is right, when you've done everything you said you would without ever saying a word, that's when the world will finally understand. You didn't just chase success, you became it.